Welcome back to the channel, guys. Today we're talking about something relatively simple. Winter's coming. Hate to say it, but do you have protection? Floor mats coming up. OEM, Husky, WeatherTech, or a new player on the market, Lastfit. Let's find out. Stay tuned. So you can check out the way the Huskies fit in my other video. I'll put a link in the description. So for frame of reference, let's take a look at the OEM Ford Raptor rubber floor mats. Dirty rubber floor mats, by the way. So pin locks, get my shadow out of the way. There's the pin locks you can see on this side. So let's take a look at the coverage here. Doesn't quite come over the side sill. Goes up into there. You can see I get quite a bit of dirt underneath there. So that's the front driver's side. So let's kind of take a look at that, and let's also look at the back. So again, we can kind of take a look at this gap here, and I don't know if the Lastfits will actually cover that up or not, but this is just to kind of take a look and see what our average coverage areas are. So those OEM ones, let's go take a look at the passenger side one. Okay, so here's the passenger side one. You can see how far up they go or don't go. They work pretty well. I'm not unhappy with these. But again, we got a small little gap right here. This does move around a little bit. You can see I get a little bit of muck underneath there. And then let me take another shot of this one because there's no shadow over here. So again, not unhappy with the coverage. Just this is taking a look, so when we install the new ones, we can kind of see what's what. Before I install the new ones, I'm gonna take all these out and vacuum though. So yeah. All right, got them out of the box. First impressions, impressive, honestly. So it's cool they've got pin locks for the driver's side and for the passenger side. My truck only has the pin locks on the driver's side. Maybe the new trucks have the pin locks for both. So my initial impressions are that they are about the same thickness as the WeatherTechs, but they're a lot more pliable, which I like. They're not as thick as the Huskies. The interesting thing that I'm also noticing too is this goes down a lot farther than both either the Huskies or the WeatherTechs. So we're getting some extra coverage there, which is kind of nice. They don't stink, which is unusual. Okay, let's check out the backside. Got the little nubs, which is good. Again, the pin lock. This is an interesting way to do the logo. It's almost like another hard piece of molded plastic that's been put in here, which is interesting. It probably ensures that the logo never goes away. Those are the fronts. Let's check out the backs. Interesting. Pin locks for the rears as well. I do wonder if the newer trucks have pin locks for this stuff. This is so big that I doubt it's going to move at all. This looks about the same size as the factory Raptor ones, the WeatherTech, and the Husky. This one is significantly heavier. Let's check out the back. It feels thicker. Again, you've got the nubs here. And this will probably all relax eventually. It feels like, I like the pliability, I like the flexibility of these. I went with the Huskies in my last truck, and the reason why I went with the Huskies is because they were a lot more flexible, and the WeatherTechs that I had were kind of hard plastic, and they ended up kind of folding up in certain areas. So I wanted something a little bit more pliable, and these are nice and pliable. So first impressions are good. There's the rear. Passenger? Nope, that's the passenger. It's upside down stuff. I'm no good at it. Let's go get them in the truck, man. Let's see how they fit. So before I threw them back in the truck, I thought I'd do a side-by-side or a top to bottom or whatever comparison. So let's check this out. Let's do the same over here. So a heck of a lot more coverage with these Lastfits. That's nice. Let's check out the back. Okay, check that out. Again, significantly more coverage with the Lastfits. The Raptor mats are heavier and thicker, but not quite as pliable. But they're close. They're really close, actually. I don't know what these cost, the Raptor ones from the factory, but we'll find out. All right, let's get them installed. All right, these guys are installed. Let's check them out. Install was super easy. Duh. So there you have it. We'll go to the passenger side too. So remember from the OEM Ford ones, if you look at the sill gap, there isn't one anymore. So this is all nice and tight. This extra piece is super nice. These are obviously locked into the pins. So the coverage here is quite a bit better. They fit really, really well. Now also you can see up in here, I've got this little extra piece, which is nice. They go up a little bit higher. Overall, color me impressed. Let's take a look at the rear. Okay, here's the rear. It's still settling down a little bit. You can see, maybe from the other side you'll see it better. There's a bit of a hump here still. So that's because the mat's still settling. The coverage is really good. Goes all the way back up inside. It's got a nice fit all the way around. And the one thing that's nice about these is once these settle down, I won't have any gaps right there if I don't want it. So the one thing about this mat that's quite a bit different that everybody should know is, see how obviously the coverage is amazing, but that runs up the whole backside, and that may or may not bother you. I think for the most part the whole idea of a mat is exactly this. The WeatherTechs fit right up underneath this thing right here, like just right there. So I think these are just bigger. Whether you like it or not, it's kind of up to you. I don't mind it once the seat's down. You obviously don't see it. So yeah, before we go to the other side, I want to mention this seems a little bit weird. It almost seems like this would be, this fits really well, but it almost seems like if this was cut, and I may do that, I may cut this and have this lay down, because I think that's a little bit annoying, but I can't get them forward anymore. So I may trim that right here. I think maybe. We'll see. Maybe I should look at the instructions. Maybe they tell you to do that. I don't know. Let's go look at the other side. Okay, here's the other side. No shadows, so it's a little bit easier to see. This side hasn't quite settled down yet. So, but again, good fitment all the way back. And again, still have this kind of this goofy thing. And I'm thinking maybe if I cut that right there, that might lay down and go up underneath this, because this kind of bothers me. But you know, the pin locks, it's interesting they put these in. Not too sure why. Like I said, maybe the new ones, maybe the new Fords have them. They don't smell, which is great. They're made from a TPE, which is a thermoplastic elastomer, and it's eco-friendly thermoplastic elastomer, and which is why they don't smell. My hands don't smell, the truck doesn't smell, I didn't smell taking them out. So this is great. I love this little extra piece here. And again, more coverage up there. They fit really well. Part of the reason why they fit this well is because they do use digital scanning to measure for you know, obviously an accurate fit. And they pretty much all the Husky, OEM, I don't know about OEM, but WeatherTech, they all do that. But the nice thing too about these, of course, they've got the anti-skid little knobbies on the bottom. Keeps all this extra storage, or extra coverage rather, in place. They seem like they clean really easily. And the best thing is they've got a a lifetime warranty and a 90-day full refund if you're not happy with them. Okay, quick little last minute touch. I ended up cutting the mat. If you remember, it was kind of like that. So I just took a X-Acto knife and I cut right down this edge here so that this would lay down. So now we don't have that weird lip here. So these should settle a little bit more too, so it should be even better after it settles. Probably didn't need to cut it that far, but it is what it is. So there you have it. Henry, what do you think? So if we think about comparing them to the Huskies, they're a little bit thinner, but just as pliable. They are much more pliable and fit way better than the WeatherTechs. OEM coverage compared to these doesn't even hold a candle. All right, guys, they're installed. Let's talk price. WeatherTech's about $200 to $210, depending on which brand, or not brand, version you get. There's a couple different ones now. OEM branded Raptor mats, I couldn't find it with a quick search. I did find the rubber mats, the all-weather mats that were just standard F150 in the same kind of style. It just didn't say Raptor on them. Those were about $175 to $185, depending on where you bought them from. And the Huskies are about $210. These Lastfits, $129. That's kind of hard to beat. So unless you're really into the brand name and having brand name floor mats, and I wouldn't blame you if you are, because Husky and WeatherTech make good products. These are kind of hard to beat. So I've got a link in the description that will give you a discount even beyond that $129 that you guys can click on. Try them for yourself. Lastfit also does LED lighting, and so we're going to try some LED tail lights, LED license plate lights. The only halogen bulbs on a Raptor from the factory are the license plate lights. We're going to swap those out with some LEDs, and I'll do another video on that. But you know, for 129, that's pretty good. So hope you guys enjoyed this. Take care.